I believe it's only been 20 years. Other than our hair and our clothes style, I think you all look the same, and it's good to see you all. I hope you've enjoyed your evening reminiscing about first cars, first dates, life before internet, and cell phones, and those kinds of things. Just a little bit of business. If you still have your drink coupon, if you can redeem that here in the next few minutes, we'd appreciate that. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about this evening and take this opportunity to thank Star, who put so much time. This is her vacation.
Star, we ain't that drunk. Star who?
This is Star's vacation, and she spent it on us, so we thank you, Star. Her beautiful touches on all the tables around here. She made all the centerpieces, and we thank you for not settling for the ordinary when we were ready to settle, and you went on and found this beautiful venue, and so we thank you for that. Also, a big thanks for Steve Gray, who put our slideshow together. Many hours and his brilliant work here. So we thank you. Please join me in thanking Star and Steve. And I think we all know that the class of 1991 was always a great class.
The best.
And then, the best, that's right. And then our senior year, we got one of the best gifts a graduating class could receive when we received Dan Kahler, a.k.a. the Silver Fox, as our principal. He took our high school experience from great to a phenomenal senior year. There's not many people you can meet in this world that makes you feel like you really matter. He gave me a business card once when I was eating in the cafeteria, and on one side it had his name, and on the other side it had his motto. And if I remember correctly, it said something like, "Don't take people for where they are, but for where they ought to be." And because of DK and living that motto, I think when we graduated, he sent us off into a great place in achieving what we wanted to be in the world. And so it's my greatest honor to introduce DK. And before I do, I did want to say one other thing. When I first called DK, he was like a giddy schoolboy on the phone. And I said, "Would you please be our guest of honor at the reunion?" And he said, "Oh, yes. And he looked at his calendar, and then with a big sigh of disappointment, he said, "Oh, I've got a commitment that night. I just can't be there." And then 2 days later, I heard that giddy schoolboy voice on my answering machine say, "I think I got it all figured out, and call me." So when he called, he said, "You know, my year at Winnetonka was one of the most special years that I spent as a principal. And so I couldn't miss it. I rearranged my evening, and I want to be there." And so we thank you for being here. It's my greatest honor to
Well, good evening, Tompkins. Let me tell you right now, I was an educator for close to 40 years. And of all the educational years I had, as a teacher, as a principal, I never wanted to be a superintendent. The most magical of all was 1991 at Winnetonka High School. And let me tell you why. I was thinking. I didn't have much time. I just got back from a speaking junket in southwest Missouri, and Dave Crockett, assistant superintendent, was on the answering machine. He said, "Call me right away, Dan." So I called him on Saturday. He said, "How'd you like to run Winnetonka for a while?" I said, "Well, Keith is running Winnetonka." He said, "No, he's gone back east to work for community caring." And I said, "How come you haven't asked?" And after about 3 people, he said, "They all turned me down." I said, "Well, let me talk to my wife, and I'll get right back to you." So I talked with Violet, calling back in about 5 minutes. I said, "Sounds good to me, Dave." And the rest is history. The first day, I had to have something special. And I think if you were there the first day of school, you'll remember how I'm going to begin this. Good morning, Tompkins. You're in tune with WWEO. We're excellent trainers. This is your new principal, Dan Kahler, better known as the Silver Fox or DK, none of this Dr. Kahler stuff. Let's get acquainted. I'll see you in the halls, see you in the classroom, I'll see you at the activities, I'll see you in the community, I'll see you when the buses come, the buses go. Come on up, tell me who you are. And you did. And that was unusual, because usually, we're talking about 1990, so that's 21, that's a long time ago. But you did, and slowly I started thinking, is this for real? And before the school was 2 months old, I was in the most real school environment that I'd ever been in. And let me go on. 4 years later, they asked me to do North Kansas City High School, so I was there for a year. And then a few years later, they gave me an honorary principalship for a day at the New Staley High School. I had already been a principal of Lawrence High School in Kansas, North Kansas City in Kansas, so I'd been around. But it didn't take me long to know that I'm in the presence of real youngsters. And it's just so relaxing and such a pleasure. When I would stop and like smile or give you a look that, I hope you stop and talk to me, it didn't take long. I got acquainted right away. And you treated me like a real human being, not someone who's going to disappear at any moment. The most magical year of my life as a professional was 1999 at Winnetonka High School. And I want to share with you. I want to share with you before I sit down something that's special. It's in my DK collection. When I was 15, I started collecting things. I was in the East. My dad's a two-sport All-American in the Kansas All Sports Hall of Fame, but I played college football for him and came out from the East to do that because I was going to Dartmouth on a full ride. And of course, Jack Hill at that time too, a World War II veteran. But it really happened when I started teaching that I found out this is something I really want to do. So I pursued the master's and the doctorate and all that. But nothing seemed really right to me until the first couple of months at Tonka, and I said, this is reality. This is what a school should be. And wherever I go, people would stop and talk. I just had to be careful I didn't make you late for class. And on more than a few occasions, I'd take you into class and tell the teacher, I'm the reason. And of course, I don't think anybody got in trouble. But I want to share with you tonight something that's in my DK selection. I started when I was 15 years old, a sophomore in high school. And it's special. It takes about a minute and a half to render. And it's especially for the Winnetonka class of 1991. It's called The Best in You. It's by the oldest author in history, anonymous. I used to say Anna and Abner anonymous, so I would be sexist. And here it is. Give to the world, it's called The Best in You. Remember that. Give to the world, each day you live, one treasure only you can give. And everything you say and do gives to the world the best of you. The greatest treasure you own is valueless to you alone. Yet freely given, you'll find it enriches all humankind. Scatter each day you live the seeds of love and service the world needs. And the measure that you sow, in just that measure, you will grow. There's no greater gift you can bestow on your fellow humans than this.